Let's probably give
now.
them 2 minutes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to REI Genius Live. And tonight we're talking keys and conversation, the keys to wealth, the keys to real estate investing, and everything in between that you need in order to change your life and unlock your success. And I'm the founder of REI Genius, your host for tonight, Johnny Lionel, the military CEO. Coming by way of Northern Virginia. Been real estate investing for over 17 years since I bought my first property, and real estate investing has changed my life. And I created REI Genius a couple years ago with the mindset to change and impact other people's lives the same way the real estate has helped me, and kind of helping other people be able to receive that same transformation in their lives. And that's kind of the premise behind that. And tonight, so this is one of many shows we like to jump on with bringing in other real estate experts, and really just talking about, the process, the intangibles that go into being successful with real estate, but really the intangibles that go into being successful in life overall. And tonight we're going to talk about real estate investing. Is it really worth it? And talk with a couple of high level real estate investors and kind of get their opinion, because a lot of people, we don't want to talk about the sacrifice, or we prefer entertainment over sacrifice, or you know potentially avoiding our breakthroughs that we'll go around, instead of going through to get to where we want to be. And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight and go through details. But one of the things that I really wanted to kind of talk about as we close out 2023, we start looking back and assessing the year in review and looking at where we came from and where we are right now. And I think everybody on the stage, they're going to talk about how they're better and a better investor because of this year. And being able to look backwards and understand where you came from and to see the growth on who you are as an individual, who you are as a real estate investor, as a father, as a husband, as a leader, as a brother, whatever it is, just looking back and across all those things, because we're not just real estate investors, we're people. A lot of us, we lead organizations for our prime time jobs, our W-2 jobs. And, so we're dynamic. We have to juggle many balls to stay in the air. Some of them are made out of glass. They cannot fall. They cannot fail. But some of them, they're made of rubber. They can bounce here and there in between. And our job as a real estate investor is to bring them all together. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. One of the things that I wanted to highlight is the real estate market. That, of course, the market is always local, depending on where you are with understanding your market. I challenge you to figure out what your buy box is, what area you want to invest, what type of asset you want to invest in, whether it's single family, multifamily, but then also understand the zip codes, the areas that you want to focus on, so you can analyze your buy box on a daily basis to look for activity. And when a deal presents itself, that you're going to have the opportunity to move with speed because you're familiar with that area. But one of the great things that we're seeing right now as we close out 2023 is the reduction of interest rates, which has been one of the great things, I'll tell you, as a fix and flipper who's looking to renovate dilapidated houses, bring them to the market and sell them, that interest rates have stopped a lot of the demand across the board. When interest rates hit 8%, you guys, it was like, hey, like, when you hear the music stopping to screech, it's like you couldn't hear anything because it wasn't anything moving, and people weren't buying, people weren't looking at real estate. But I think right now the consumer is back in action. One of the people that I follow, that they were talking about right now, that the spring season has already started. That it started a little bit early because rates have dropped to right now they're sub 7%. A little bit, probably less than 90 days ago, they were over 8%. So it was a dramatic change, and we're seeing now consumers who have been on the bench and really waiting for things to change because it was too expensive to buy at 8%, that now that they're coming out looking for inventory, looking for houses to buy. And so that's one of the things that's a continuous opportunity for us going into 2024. If you can find affordable housing, if you can fix and flip houses that are affordable, that you're going to have sellers. There's still buyer incentive programs out here that are incentivizing people in different markets. I know in Panama City, we sold one of our townhouses that we turned over, that they didn't have to bring any down payment to the table just because the government paid for their down payment. And so there's loan programs out there, and there's a lack of inventory. If you start looking at the increase in inventory across the United States, that the majority of the inventory has increased over the median sales price in the majority of areas. So you're seeing a lot of luxury homes sit on the market for an extensive amount of time. But so on the flip side of that, you're seeing a lot of houses that are 75% or less of the median price, first time home buyer type of homes, that they're still being multiple offers, aggressive buyers out there, and things are moving pretty good. So with that, we're super excited. We're bullish on 2024 in our market, Panama City, across the state of Alabama, with being able to provide more affordable housing out there for first-time home buyers. And also on the multifamily side, we could talk and dive into just the impact on cap rates, where we're seeing with, of course, the same interest rates are being impacted on the commercial market side as well, too. So we're looking to benefit that. We're going to be doing a refinance exit on one of our assets in the Montgomery market, looking at a couple different markets for new acquisitions. And 2024 is going to be quite the year, and we are super excited. So tonight, we do have a couple guests with me. I'm excited. A couple clients of mine. We may have one of our executive coaches that may come through as well too. But we're going to talk shop a little bit and kind of go through and just kind of understand what others are seeing in the market. What have they seen going through 2023? We're going to hear their thoughts on, is it really worth it? Is real estate worth it? And kind of dive into that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up, without any further ado, Mr. Henry Scott. Let him introduce himself to the audience tonight, and then we'll jump into the topic. What's going on, Henry?
Hey man, what's going on? What's going on, brother? How's
Man,
everything?
living the dream, man. Glad to be here. You know, we're getting this rhythm with REI Genius live, man, and just blessing the people, changing lives, you know, giving them a little peek behind the curtains on how we're moving, how we're navigating the economy, how we're navigating life, how we're excelling. You're on the road, right? Where you're at right now, you're out, you know,
Man,
out
I'm
to the
out here in
poolside.
paradise, man.
You're in paradise, hanging out.
Hilton Head Island. Hilton
Nice.
Head Island.
Yeah, so introduce yourself to the audience for those who don't know you. Um, let them know.
Hey, all right. I'll give you a little sneak peek into my life. So Henry Scott, I served active duty army for about 18 and a half years. Decided to make a switch to the reserves to give my family a little bit more work life balance. So I'm a reservist, 26 Bravo, which I do a lot of IT stuff. And in my day job, I'm a senior project manager for a consulting company. And segueing now in this part of my life, trying to into real estate. So, is real estate worth it? One of the questions you asked. So, for me in my profession, I always got to be big into the data. I got to make informed
Mm,
decisions. So, um, and I think what a lot of people don't do when they're trying to make decisions on, their financial goals, their life goals, family goals. They're not making informed decisions. So I always go to the data, and the data tells me 40 million of Americans don't have a retirement plan.
wow.
The data tells me that our life expectancy is 78. So Social Security don't kick in until about what 62, 65 now.
Yeah.
Most Americans work until they're about 65-ish. So that's
And
what about a 20-year span
yeah,
or up. They're
yeah,
forced to
it's
work,
getting
right?
higher. It's getting
Because of
higher.
no savings. So so that's what I'm trying to look at. Okay, what is my retirement age I want for myself? How much money am I going to need? What does the market tell me the good things and the bad things? So and that's kind of why I got into real estate, because I have to find a way to where if I'm not physically able to work or I don't want to work, where is that security going to come from? Because the $1 million question is, how do we find security and live the American dream, our American dream? So a lot of people see that as, they like the stableness of the W-2, they like the predictability, right? But it really doesn't give you that.
Right.
And we seen during COVID, right? A lot of tragedy has happened. a lot of tragedy. So a lot of that goes into my decision making on why I jumped into real estate. So I took a dive. I cannonballed into real estate, right? Because I seen what it could do for me. And the biggest thing is putting in the work and believing in yourself, right? So I know I can put in the work, and I know I believe in myself. And with those two things, you can pretty much accomplish anything you want to do, right? And of course, the effort piece. So just to kind of give you a little bit of on our real estate journey, we started back in October 2020. Me, my sister, and my dad, we started our own investment group, Scott Investment Group.
Mhm.
And our goal was pretty much to build generational wealth, not only for ourselves but for our entire family. So we have family members investing. We're educating them on the investment process and the benefits of it, the risks of it. Because investment is twofold, right? There's
Yep.
gains and there's losses. There's risk and there's reward. So we're giving them the full spectrum and this is what investing is about. It's about one educating, and then the next thing about executing, right? So at first we did the educating part,
Okay.
and now we're executing. So we have three properties right now here in the Augusta area, that we're looking to put on the market here in the next 4 months, and provide a home for a family, or just anyone looking to start their home ownership journey. And kind of like you said, we're in the business of creating value, right? The value creation business. So, when you're creating value, there's always going to be a reward at the end of the tunnel. It's all about you going down that unknown path, taking that risk, right? Because you risk yourself every day going to your W-2, because you don't know. Hey, you may get furloughed. Um, they may have cutbacks. The
All right.
military has cutbacks. So that kind of fueled my decision on moving into real estate. Is there's so many unknowns out there, but let's go to the data. Let's weigh the pros and the cons. And real estate investing, it just makes sense.
Yep. No, 100%. And like for me, for me, it was getting a check back at closing. I bought my first house using my VA loan, and I got a little bit over $300 check back at closing, buying a house, being an owner, and I was paying less than what it was costing me to live in my apartment. And I'm like, hold on, there's something to this. And and that just started the journey for me. But the big thing, and it really hit home, was just going through the process, just looking at the tax benefits, the cash flow, and understanding, the long-term appreciation. And then my residents are paying down my debt over time.
Right.
And so I like, okay, how do I get in this? And then once I go through, I'm looking at, 90% of the world's millionaires have been made over the last 2 centuries, have been made through real estate investing. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, success leads a path. They're like, why? Who am I to go off and try to create something different?
Right.
And it really hit home. With my dad, it didn't at first, because I joined the service, new officer, all in on the mission and things, and I kind of lost my way. I won't say lost my way. I lost my entrepreneurial way, because I was the kid, had a lawn care business in high school. Um, was selling knockoff handbags, in college, doing that thing. I had a car cleaning business in college during the summer. So I was always entrepreneur at heart. And but it stuck with me when I was a teenager. My dad told me, if you want to be rich, you'll never be rich working for somebody else. And it hit me. And I was like, okay, let me see what's going on with this real estate stuff. How can I build a business around it? And that's what we done. And I read an article this morning. I shared it on social media. But CNBC talked about the middle class is seeking to understand. Matter of fact, I had it right here. What it said. The title of the article was "The Middle Class Americans Want to Know More About How the Wealthy Make Money." And here's the answer. And I'm gonna tell you how we do it, because I was on the outside looking in. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and keep complaining about, hey, the wealthy aren't paying taxes, they're not doing this. I'm like, I'm about to join them, because the rule book is right here. And that's what I went and done. It took some time, and but we got there. And the thing is that you got to realize that the wealthy live off passive income. They all their ordinary income that they own, they make from their W-2 job, from their businesses, they invest that money. They invest it, and they live off the passive income coming from their businesses, from the real estate holdings, for the dividends on their stock, whatever it is. they're living off that passive income because the capital gains tax on passive income is way less than the taxes that you pay on W-2 income. That's the way why you have the millionaires and billionaires that don't pay taxes out here because they're receiving dividends from their company. They're receiving stock shares from their company. Because guess what? You can't tax it. They don't want ordinary income, earned income as a W-2 employee. Because you think about it as a business owner, Uncle Sam doesn't get any tax money from me till the end of the year. But as a W-2 employee, they get their money from you before you even get your money. Think
Right.
about it. They deducting money for your taxes before you even get your check. And so that's the thing that people need to realize in the middle class is that your habits are backwards, that you're getting your money the wrong way. You got to get your money, invest your money, then live and spend off your passive income. And of course, you can't start there immediately from day one, but you have to build your roadmap. You have to build your success plan to get there so you can make that pivot over time. But I think too many people don't have a strategy. They don't have a plan. They're living day by day. They're living check by check, unfortunately, and they're never going to get there if they don't change their habits, if they don't change their mindset. And so for me, unequivocally, yes, it's worth it. Does it has its up and downs? Of course. It's some days you wake up, you're like, man, did I make the right decision to invest in real estate? Yeah, you have those days, but at the end of the journey, and you look back over, it's like, hey, is well worth it because a lot of times we think in life that our plans that it's a straight path to get to success, to get to our end state, our goals. But the reality is it's a roller coaster. It's a curvy road. You're going around and around. There's nothing near straight and it's ups and downs. But despite all of that, we get to where we need to be.
Agree. Agree 100%. And kind of like you were saying about just understanding how the 1% owns 90% of the wealth, right? Look at McDonald's, right? If everybody think McDonald's is a behemoth fast food giant, which they are, but they a behemoth real estate giant, a more so a behemoth real estate giant. Look at Bill Gates,
Yep.
owner of Microsoft, right? Tech giant, right? But people don't know he owned about 30% of the land in the United States.
Yep. Yeah, he's been buying a lot of farmland. A lot of
Exactly. So, and 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 the thing is, and I say at least from my vantage point when I was young, it's just the financial literacy, just understanding the basics of money, the purpose, why it's there, and how it's going to increase your life. And I think that's where most people just need to start. But kind of like what you're saying is, because of the cushion that a W-2 gives us, it kind of dormants our creativity.
mm,
So it get and kind of like what technology does. It
yep.
it it dormants our ability to maximize the gift that God gave us, right?
So how do you move past that though? Because we all got technology, we all got these devices right here. We got access to more information ever at any point in humankind, mankind. We have access to all of it right here. But
Right.
so how do we make that transition to leverage this in order to get to where we want to be long term? And I see one of the comments there. How does someone get there that's working a W-2 job? How do they get there on trying to get started right now?
So first thing I know, starting my real estate journey, I had to do my research and find someone that has already done it. Right? It's like we have cheat codes out here, as far as people that have done it, built their empires on this. Don't try to rewrite history and feel like you're special, right? Go ahead and use the tool that are already there. Find a mentor, find a mastermind group. Take those lessons learned from them and build off of it. Kind of like I relate everything back to things that I know and I'm comfortable with, right? So back to project management for me. Every project that I do, I have a lessons learned register that has all the challenges that I face and all the good things that happen and how we can make the project better moving forward. The same thing you do with real estate. You come to something that you don't really know. You go in first. You take it. You do it. You go in there. You educate yourself. You do it. Have
Yep.
somebody there to steer you in the right path to be there to be kind of like your guide. And at the end, hey, You may make money, or you may not make money, but the lessons that you learn along the way is the true value. And that's how you get better. That's how you build wealth, because people don't tell you about all these successful people out here, all the mistakes they're made, all the mistakes they made, all the trials and tribulations that they went through. We like to see the shiny object, but we don't understand the journey to reach that shiny object. And the journey's rough.
Yeah.
I could sit here and testify to you for hours, right? Um, but everybody sees like, hey, man, this guy's a successful guy. This guy did it, but you don't understand all the heartache and pain, all the late nights, all the
Right.
times to where you bang your head against the wall. All that blood, sweat, and tear that you put into it. So I think that's the first step is educate yourself, find a group or find a person that you can connect with, not necessarily on a professional level, on a personal level, that fits you, fits your character, fits your
Right.
personality, and just move from there.
No, 100%, man. That was so much that you put out there, because a lot of it is dependent on you changing your environment. Because I'll tell you that, I didn't come from a silver spoon. I grew up walking barefoot down dirt roads of Alabama. Shout out to Grove Hill. But you have to have, I had a strong household. My parents, and they invested in me. They pushed me. Every conversation was like, hey, you got to be great. You got greatness inside of you. You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. And it was like, okay, well, I know what I got to do. It's clear about that. And I think that's the thing that pushed me, and where I'm at now is like, how do I pour into so many people? And you kind of look at, and I've kind of been, I ain't gonna say been dealing with it the whole year, but it's so many people that I have to turn away that like, hey, you're not ready. You're not ready. And to get to success in real estate specifically, but it's like people don't have the foundation to be a real estate investor, that they're struggling. It's like, okay, I got to meet people where they're at. And so that's why I kind of launched the 5-day the millionaire success challenge that I'm doing next month, is because like so many people don't have the skill sets for like accountability, discipline. They don't have the right mindset. They don't have the time management skills. They don't have the just the intangibles, the financial literacy, just the basics in order to build upon when we just start talking about the real estate foundation. And so that's the thing that they need to realize, that I'm trying to help people realize, is like, you control your destiny, but you got to invest in yourself first before you can start investing in these properties out here and doing everything else. That you got to invest in yourself. And that's the thing, starting that process and getting people to go down that path, that it's been a challenge, but success is, it's a challenge. Life is going to happen to you whether you're doing what you want to do out here or not. And and so that's the tenacity that I approach it all, is like, I'm either going to win or I'm going to learn from it, but we're going to keep going. Failure is an option, stopping is an option. And you're going to get your bumps and bruises, you're going to get hit in the face, you're going to have setbacks. But I'm a true believer, and my mindset is like, okay, the glass is always half full, it's never half empty. I'm always moving forward into my future, my destiny, and taking that mindset to go through is the approach to having. It's like having the mentors, and it took me so long to make my first million, because I had to do it myself. I was going through, it was like I didn't know about networking, that whole process. And it's like, hey, I'm gonna just bootstrap. I know what I'm doing. I can put it together. I took the leap of faith. We did our first fix and flip project way back in 2015. And and I'm just, hey, I'm taking this skill set that I have with leading these $100 million projects for Uncle Sam, for the Air Force, and buying software. Like, hey, I can manage contractors that's building houses and renovating houses and making it work. But if I had known about mindset and getting out there networking with other people and going through and being able to align with people that have the expertise, and it took me a while to get there. Now I figured out it's the cheat code. It's like, man, I just need to create win-win scenarios. And now I have a virtual team. I have a team on the other side of the world that's helping me bring my vision to life. I have a team in Florida, in Panama City, in that market that's working, a team in Alabama that's coming together, that's working the multifamily across the state and the single families that we're doing across the state. And now it's like, okay, bring the vision and bring it to the people and bring it all together and execute and move out. And but you don't start there overnight. And you start there with the foundations. For the young lady that asked about where to start your W-2, I think one, it starts with Figure out where do you want to be 5 years from now. If it involves real estate, good. If it doesn't, that's fine. Because some people, they may want to, go open a bakery. They may want to be a motivational speaker. They may want to do anything. They may want to keep their job, because the number one thing that you can do right now is invest in yourself in a way where you can command and demand more income. Command and demand more income. Go have a conversation with your the next level manager and ask them like, hey, what do I need to do to get to the next level? What do I need to do? Ask them how much value, how much revenue are you bringing to the company? Ask your manager how much revenue are you bringing to the company. Now ask them, okay, how much revenue do I need to bring in order to get a $50,000 raise? Have these type of conversations with yourself, with your, going through and understanding what's the next level for you, because you need to learn how to increase your income at the end of the day. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's starting a fix and flip business to generate more revenue, to buy apartment buildings, whether it's to generate more revenue in your job so you can leave it and go start your own business, or whatever it is, you got to figure out how you can increase your income in order to invest more money faster, because that's how you get out the rat race. The more income that you can generate and deploy into investments and start generating passive income, the faster you're going to get to that time freedom, that financial freedom, and everything that you're seeking by being able to create more passive income. But it starts by building up your skill set in a way where the marketplace is going to pay you for your services. And once you're able to figure that out, whatever it is that you're good at, figure out can you monetize it, and how can you add value, and how can you solve people's problems with the skill set that you have. And if you don't have any skill set, if you're brand new out of high school, you got to figure out what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that you like, and dig into it to get better and better. Get in there, build up the reps, get the lumps inside your head. Find a mentor that's done it, that's already there with where you want to be. Ask them how they got there, and then go down that process. So it's hard, but it's easy at the same time, as we sit there and go through, because you got to get out there and execute. Whether it's, a marathon starts with the first step. But I think everybody out here needs to ask themselves going into 2024, how can I create more income in 2024? Whether it's with your current employer, whether it's with starting a side business, or whatever it is, everyone needs to figure out how to generate more income, so now they can invest that income and get closer to create more and more passive income. What do you think about that, Henry? Kind of am I kind of in the arena with that thought process?
Hey, bullseye. This the bullseye right here. Hey, man. Hey, you don't even need me here. You don't need me. You don't need me at all. Hey, man. Hey, all I can do is just pretty much echo what you're saying. Um, and I think someone asked about how do you find a mentor, right? Uh, and I think you mentioned it before. It starts with your mindset. First, you gotta get in the right mindset, right? You gotta have a growth mindset, right? You gotta be able to be you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? You got to be open to constructive criticism. You got to make yourself approachable and teachable, right? You got to have, and a lot of that goes into your physical demeanor and your mental demeanor, right? And putting yourself in those environments to where your future mentors will be your local REIA, your local real estate investor association. Go to meetups. Uh, like I said, join masterminds on Facebook. So anywhere on social media, get into these groups, start talking to people, and start establishing these connections, and it'll happen naturally. And I can tell you, 18 years in the military, I can say I may have had one or two mentors out of my whole 18 years, and a lot of that came in the latter part of my time because even I'm human, right?
Right.
At the beginning, I may have been bullish and it wasn't presenting that mentee type personality, or it could have just been, But like I said, you have to put a lot of the onus on yourself, and always self reflecting to put yourself in the best position. So to answer that question, I say put yourself in the best position by getting into these local groups. Start being uncomfortable. Start being uncomfortable, being able to accept constructive criticism, do
Oh yeah.
your self awareness checks, and the mentor the mentor relationship will find you.
Yeah. It will. It will. I didn't even know to look for a mentor, man. Being honest, I
Right.
being honest, coming in the military. The thing that pivoted me in my career, that the base that I went to, shout out to Warner Robins, all my Air Force officers out there, man. When I say we had a tight knit of officers there, primarily African American officers too, that they invested us. The field grade officers, they invested like, hey, LT, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And it was one, shout out to D Brown. D Brown changed my life because he put me on game with doing career broadening. And I was like, hey, I really want to go be an intel officer. I'm supporting the mission on the acquisition, buying these systems and stuff, but I want to get my hands dirty. I want to be active, man. I ain't come to the military. Like I'm from, I've been carrying a rifle since I was 10 years old. I want to get out here and see what's going on and make an impact. So but he was able, his relationships, he knew somebody over the program back up in Dayton, Ohio. And so submitted the application with multiple officers from across the whole entire Air Force. And I was one of the fortunate ones to be blessed to get selected. And that trajectory just changed my career. Would put me in the right opportunity with going in, excelling in intel school, coming out, being able to deploy, do some great things. And then the rest is history. And it was funny, I got back from my deployment, went to squadron officering school, and in the gym on a Friday night, the wife had went down to Orange Beach with some of her girlfriends. And I'm like, man, so I was a gym rat in the deployment. So, I'm about 3 months. I'm like, man, this ain't nothing to do on a Friday night in Montgomery. I'm going to the gym. Go in the gym, and I bump into my old squadron commander when I was a lieutenant. Out the blue. He had flew down for a conference and was in town, and he's in the gym on a Friday night too. Bump into him, cross paths, hadn't talked. Me, I didn't even know to really keep in touch with and building my network or anything like that. And we conversated. He's like, so what you doing next? I'm like, yeah, I got a year left. He's like, hey, you need to go here. And he's like, I'm gonna set you up. I know an 06 there. I'm gonna get you a job interview. You get the interview. You go through. You successfully go through the interview. Had 2 interviews. And I was like, hey, I was sharp, squared away, and got the job, man. And and the rest is history. It just set me up for so many follow-ons after that. But I say that mentorship is powerful. Like, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Because I've met plenty of people that know me that I don't know. And they were like, so and so told me that I need to talk to you. Or so and so said, hey man, I was like, you're doing some great stuff. I see what you're doing on social media, sharing, inspiring. I'm like, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And then the conversation goes there, but they know me and I don't know them. And so it's the thing, like I tell people, like, people are always watching, whether you want to believe it or not. People are always watching. And we're human, just like people see me on social media and stuff. It's like, man, I'm a normal dude, husband, father, and but I work hard. I manage my time, and if you serious about your business, I do whatever I can do to help you make the connections. But don't waste my time. Whatever you do, please, please, please don't waste my time.
Exactly.
If we have a conversation and you ask me for advice, when I see you 3 months, 6 months from now, if you hadn't done anything with it, it's like we may not have another conversation.
Right.
Just because, it's like my time. I only have so many time. You said the average life expectancy. I'm 41, man. I'm like, hey, them years.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there, right behind you.
I'm trying to get 6-7 hours of sleep every night.
Right.
It's like, man, them hours they start adding up. It's like, okay, you just got a handful of hours left here, and so that's why the onus is on us to really get serious about this stuff.
Right.
And like Grant Cardone says, like, hey, man, you need 10x. It's like, man, why go small? Because if I go big and I end up halfway, getting to my goal, it's like, boom, that's enough. And what we're doing in multifamily is like, man, you do 2 or 3 great deals the way we do them. It's like you don't have to buy real estate the rest of your life if you don't want to.
Right.
And you're good. And so that's what it's all about, the impact. How have you gotten buy-in from your family, particularly your spouse, as you launched out into investing? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good
Great question.
Oh, this is a good one, because I'm all about the household being in alignment. And it started with my dream. It was my vision, but I truly saw myself as the leader that I had to cast the vision for where we were going. But at the beginning, it was just me primarily. I was the solo entrepreneur. I was doing a lot of it. It was my dream. She didn't really have a whole lot to do with it. Like, oh, we sold something. We sold a house. I'm like, cool. And the stressing and all that stuff that she didn't really get a true appreciation of what I was doing until we actually get in the Panama City market and I got ready to deploy. So we just wholesale. I didn't get a chance to build a team before I deployed. So we were doing some wholesales and stuff like that. And I had her running around doing stuff while I was deployed because I was cold calling from Kuwait. So she was going me one homeowners, things like that. And she really saw everything that was going on. She's like, hey, how can I help? Because she was at home. And and that's been an extreme blessing that we couldn't have went to the next level with where we're at right now without her and the orchestration that she does behind the scenes. But it was a process. I think we could have got there a lot faster if I communicated more and didn't just take everything on myself. That she was like, "Hey, I trust you. I know you got it. You're smart. You know what you're doing." Like, boom. She's like, "I don't really need to get involved," but she was always there doing her part. Even with the first property, she was like putting the landscaping out, doing that, and just being there supportive. So she was supportive, but she didn't have a real active role. But after we started doing and scaling, I was like, "Hey, can you do this for me today?" Then that little honey-do list for her when I'm leaving to walk out the door in the morning, got a little bit longer each day. And she was talking to the contractor team more than I was, and talking with the pro desk at Home Depot more than me. And she's like, "Man, you were doing all this." I was like, "Yeah, I was doing all that." And but it's like me. It's like I love the work, and that was the biggest thing for me. Is like I got to let go and let other people do it because I don't mind working because it's like, hey, I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna be the breadwinner, and for me, it's just a passion, just being able to go from the see the business side of it and make it all work. So that's the thing for me. But I say have the conversation, the open lines of communication on where your vision is and where you're going, and what you see for the family 5-10 years down the road, why you're doing this, and have that conversation with your spouse. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned, especially talking and coaching with people, is when you're working with your spouse that you gotta approach it in a way where you're not asking for permission, but you're asking for support. And I'm a firm believer, and it's the same way with leading people in the military and what we do. If you're going out front, if you're out front and you're leading and you're walking the talk, then they're gonna fall right in line behind you. But if you're not walking the walk and just talking, it's gonna be hard. But if they see you walking the walk, I'm a true believer that they're gonna follow your leadership and fall in place. What do you think about that, Henry?
Hey, man, I agree with you 100%. And just to kind of give you my unique perspective and story on that, cause me and my wife been together about 10 years total, 7 years married, and we both have our dreams and goals that we want to do in life, right? So it's just kind of getting her to understand the why behind what I'm doing. She already understands my work ethic and all the intangibles that I possess. So I ain't have to really give her that spiel, but just give her the understanding of the why, right? And um what it was gonna do for the family and her career, right? Because like I said, I had to match what these goals wasn't just my aspiration and my goal. This is something that's gonna better us as a couple and as a family. And kind of like what you said, as she saw me go through the process of doing things, at first she was kind of like she had a passive role in it. She saw it from she saw it indirectly, but I started taking her on the property tours and start meeting contractors, going on site, getting like little small design ideas from her and stuff. And I think it started igniting something in her because when we used to just drive by places, like, oh, look at that house, look at that house. That house look kind of run down. What do you think about that one? So it's just, first starting with the why you're doing it. You first got to understand why you're doing it. And like I said, I'm big with roadmaps and vision boards and all that. I got like 3 vision boards in our bedroom. So she kind of
Mm,
saw where I was going with it before I even talked to her about it because she was asking questions. She was inquisitive about it. And then when I sat down and told her the why, hey, one flip would pay for our oldest's college. The second flip would pay for the second oldest's college. The third flip would pay for our third. We won't have to worry about college anymore.
wow.
So I started putting things in that perspective. Then everything else is just gonna be extra. Cause I said we're already taken care of, right? This is for the generations to come. This is for us to do the things that we love to do. This is for us not to have to worry about, one of major life stressors, right? People don't want to talk
Yep.
about it, but it's money.
Yep.
Money.
100%.
They said money don't make happiness, but 99%. I'm out 99% that when I have enough money, hey, I'll go ahead and work. I'll go ahead and go and fight through that other 1%. So for me, it's starting with the why. Show her the roadmap. Show like you said, show her the vision, and from there just start getting her engaged. Like I take my kids on my site visits. I take my oldest. I take my youngest. I do social media posts with them all on there. It's just getting everybody engaged, excited, and then at that point you don't really have to do a whole lot of work. They're gonna
Yep.
want to be inclusive in it. So
No, I love it, man. It's family business. It's family business. You know, I say a lot of people say they do it for the fame. I do it for the family. It's like I'm making decisions now and building the legacy for my grandkids. Now it's like, you know, we're good. The kids are good. You know, for the college and everything that they need. It's like now it's like okay, everything else is like the overflow for the legacy. And the Bible says that you know a good man. You was like, hey, you leave an inheritance for you know, not your generation, not the immediate, your immediate family, but for the next generation. And so that's what it's all about, man. And
right,
in doing it and just kind of, you know, bringing the family along and having that always top of mind, having the way opportunities to bring them into the fold and just sharing with them that they're always going through. My son came to me, he was like, we talking about content and everything. And it's like, so people see your stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's like, so just we started talking about marketing. And I'm like, okay, you know, so he's thinking and you know, seeing stuff. I'm like, all right, man, you know, you're gonna be ready. You know, about 20 years from now, you got to step in, and it's gonna be your show. But one of the things that that piggybacked to like you that I heard you say was your wife had aspirations and her dreams, and that's one of the things that my wife that we've been talking about. And I'd be joking, I'm like, man, I got 20 months before I'm able to, you know, Lord willing, retire from the service. I'm like, when I retire, I'm like, I'm done. It's like it's your turn. I'm like, you
right,
know, I'm gonna tag you in, and you go, and I'm gonna support you, whatever. You're like, nah, I'm retired. I'm done. She's like, hey, I'm not going back in there. But we joke about it. But
right,
that's one of the things that definitely looking to do is like, hey, be 100% supportive, whatever it is that she want to do.
right,
Um,
right,
anything but the restaurant side of it. That's the thing. We go back and forth about the event space and like having a brunch space. I'm like, man, we ain't doing no restaurant because like for me, I'm like you got to be hands on for it to be successful. You got to be hands on. Like, man, we trying to travel and I'm trying to do
right,
this and that. I'm like, I ain't
right,
trying to be tied to no business that I got to be there for it to be successful. It's like I'm all about the systems and processes and building the team. So, but it's fun, you know, and that's the thing. You take it day by day, and you got to make sure that you're laughing more and having fun throughout it. It's like despite the stress here and there and all that stuff, because a lot of people I like entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. It's like I don't
right,
tell you know I'm not one of those people out here saying everybody needs to quit their job, everybody needs to entrepreneur. No, 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 no. Not that's far from everything. Everybody don't need to do it because everybody
right,
ain't built to be able to withstand the stress, the ups and downs, you know, to go through it and the skill set that you need to be successful at it. But I tell people everybody needs to figure out a way that they can invest in themselves in order to increase their income. Because the thing about it that inflation is here, that the price and cost of everything is going up, that
right.
you gotta get serious about creating additional income.
You
Whether
do.
it's a side hustle, it's a new business, and it's never been easier. You right here with this phone that you can do anything and set it up on whatever and monetize it. And so you just got to figure out what it is that you're good at and kind of go into it because yeah, pensions not coming back. Even the military is getting away from doing pensions and the 401k and everything. That it's no way that you're gonna save your way to wealth. It's not happening, y'all. It's not gonna happen. You know, whatever you're not gonna just put back 10% out of every check and save your way to get to be financially free. It's gonna be extremely. You're gonna have to do a lot of sacrificing, a lot of stuff. It's like why do that when I can go hard for 3 years and buy me 2 or 3 apartment buildings and be done.
Right,
You know, so there's a different way to get there, but they don't teach you this in school. They don't teach you this way in school. They teach you how to be an employee. But the goal is now like that. People, a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, why didn't you leave the military?" It's like, well, I'm getting the right jobs. I'm seeing opportunities. I'm growing. Like you know, when I'm going in, I can completely check out a real estate. My team, the wife they're running that, and I'm working solving a totally different set of problems. And I'm growing as a leader. I'm getting experience and I'm taking that and I'm bringing those skills and they directly transfer to everything that I'm doing in my business and in my life. And so it's like you need to work and make sure that you're working a job, but it's benefiting you. You're getting everything that you need in order to level up with that. And so I think that's the biggest challenge. And I challenge people going to 2024 is find a side hustle, find a business, or find a way to increase the income in your current job, increase your role where you can create more income that you can start investing. Because eventually the job is going to run out. And like I always tell people, it's like you can't hand down your job to your next. When you leave here, you can't hand your job off to your kids. But
Right.
your business that you start, the investments that you own and you put in the trust, you can definitely hand that inheritance down to the next generation. They can benefit from it. But the only person that's gonna know that you worked all those hours of overtime is your kids, nobody else. Because guess what? When we leave the military, they already have our replacement before we even retire. That the next person's in the door, they're gonna give you a flag. They're gonna say some cool stuff about what you've done for about 20 minutes, and then when you walk out the door, it's busy. They're going to the next staff meeting or get ready for the next day and for the mission, and because the mission goes on as it should, because that's the nature of what we do. So, but guess what? Nobody cares about your well-being and your family's well-being more than you, and we all have to be the best CEO of our last name. That's the charter that we have, whether we know it or not.
Facts.
Cool. So we just dropped in the chat the link. If anybody has any questions, we got 12 minutes left. We're gonna be respectful of people's time. But if you have a question, just jump on the link in the chat, and we'll bring you live to ask your question. We love to kind of hear and kind of give some game, give some feedback, and kind of give some wisdom just based off our experience to help somebody with whatever you're going through. It could be real estate related or not, business related, entrepreneurship, or whatever it may be. But yeah, feel free to just grab the link, come into the studio, and we'll pull you up. Yep. But while we're doing that, man, how about them Cowboys? I'm just playing. I ain't gonna put you on the spot. I'm just
See,
playing.
see, I'm still having a little bit of PTSD from that game. Um, but we still them boys though, and we
Yeah.
still about to win the NFC East, and we about to get it together. So I'm not even worried,
Okay.
cause in Dak I trust. That's all I gotta say about
Dak
that.
I trust. All right. Drops the mic.
That's it. What about them? What about Bama though?
Oh, we ready. We ready,
Oh,
man. This
you
this what
sure?
this what we do. This is what we do. We standing on business always.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Hey,
we ready. We Pasadena. I think it's gonna be a good game. Don't get me wrong, but I think long term, Michigan had never they haven't been able to put a game together in playoffs yet with Harbaugh. So I think this is just it's a business trip for us. That
that's a business.
It's a
Okay,
business trip.
okay.
We got, when you think about it, we got seniors that's been there and won a national championship. So we got
Mhm.
leadership in the room. We know how to approach it. We know how to set up the routine. We're being able to, when we got to start planning, when we do our walkthroughs, when we touch down on the ground in LA, what spots we go to in LA, what hotel
Okay,
we stay in LA. We already stayed there. We already did the Rose Bowl. We got the routine. So we got
okay.
we got we got the experience. And so I think being in that situation that I don't think those guys gonna shy away from the moment that and it's Coach Saban. Coach Saban gonna have them ready. So if I was a betting man, I would put my money on old Saint Nick.
I'm definitely a bet man. So we about to see. I'm going with them Wolverines.
You going to Wolverines?
I'm going with them. I
Ooh,
got to. Hey
okay.
Jim. Hey Jim, a bad man.
What? Okay, he's a bad man,
He a
but
bad man.
is he the baddest man?
We about to find out.
Well,
I'm about to be locked in.
hey, some of us already know. You gonna find out, but I already know.
Oh man, that's
Man,
funny.
Michigan not about to come in there. No. Mm-mm. But I'll tell you what the wild card is. Milrow
Mm,
needs to get at least probably about 60 yards on the ground and at least one scoring touchdown on the ground running. If he can impose his will, being able to run the ball and get us out of third down, and I think that's going to be the equalizer because they hadn't matched up against any quarterback like that all season.
right, right.
So I think that's going to be if they can keep him contained, then because I think the DBs are solid, but we'll see. It's going to be a good game.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Bama by 12.
Well, banned by 12.
By 12.
Woo!
Man, we got it, man. We you know how bad they disrespect us, telling us that it's over with, the dynasty's over with. We don't
Come
supposed to be
on,
in there.
man.
Florida State supposed to, it's business. We
We
coming to stop the
hey,
run.
Hey, we all know they gave y'all that glass slipper, man.
We earned
Y'all
it.
y'all are the Cinderella story. Hey, and y'all, I better show up. Y'all
Oh
better
man,
show up.
hey,
I'm telling
they
you.
they know who they need to have in there. They know what time it
Them
was.
Bulldogs should have been in there. I'm not a Bulldog or a Wolverine at all. Zero. I'm a Tar Heel for life. But them dogs, man, they had the last 2 years, bro. They should have got in, man.
Oh, they should have won the game.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
know that's why we play the games. No, we coming for it, and then it's gonna be unfinished business against Texas to let them know, hey, you coming to the SEC, but yeah, it's still our turn. So we got so much calendar material that it's gonna be business. Yeah, no, those dogs weren't ready, man. We still got that talent. We still ready. We still them boys. What's up? No questions.
I think somebody had asked. I think I seen it come across about sub two deals. How you do your sub two deals in creative financing in real estate. I think somebody had asked that earlier.
Okay, yeah. We can jump on the sub two. You doing sub two, creative financing on your real estate deals. Yeah, when the time possibility comes up to do sub two, the big thing for me with sub two is I like to go ahead. If I'm gonna go ahead, if I'm getting into the property, I'd rather just go ahead, raise the private capital or grab my hard money lender, and we're getting all the money we need to do the renovations up front right then immediately, and we can go ahead and execute our game plan. So like the big thing for me is like if I'm gonna raise the money and everything, I'd rather just go ahead and get them out the way and and do the renovation. For me, I don't. I'm right now. The last probably 2 years, I stopped keeping single families as rental properties just because I want to get all the income. For me, that's my real large income driver is the fix and flip. So get the
Right.
profit from the deal and take that money and buy apartments with it. So I'm not
Right.
really looking to keep single family as rental property anymore. But just really go ahead, sell those properties, get them sold, take that profit, and then just set it to the side for the next multifamily deal that we're going to look to keep long term and just kind of scale up that way. So that's kind of been my strategy. So no, but sub two is a great way with the creative financing. I've done a few of them here and there to get into deals, and it's a great way to get into deals with little to no money, and and just being that creativity because the thing is there's so many ways out here. There's nothing new that all these principles that have been in real estate, they've been here for decades and decades, and it's the same principles. The thing is, you just got to consistently show up. You can't quit,
Right.
and that's it. You guys just got to know what you're doing. Have a mentor, somebody to tell you what to do and what not to do. And like I'm part of what, 3, 4 mastermind groups. We'll join another one next year. It's like, I pay for I pay for speed. I pay to join these groups where it's that I don't have to figure this stuff out. I
Yep.
just call the expert that's doing it, that's in this group that I'm in, and he tells me what's working. It's like, hey, you got 50 marketing clients that you're doing marketing for. Hey, what's working? I'm like, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna do that. Boom.
Exactly.
It saves me the trial and error, saves me wasting money on marketing to figure it out, not getting a response, not getting getting a low ROI on my money. It's like that's the cheat code, and people don't realize it. It's like you're able to talk to other millionaires and people that's being successful and get information. Man, it's
But
yeah,
but
it's a
but that goes back into my point, Johnny. You got to be uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. A lot of people are not comfortable being vulnerable, having to, get information from people, and from a man perspective. I can't speak from a woman's perspective. From a man perspective, how we're trained from from being from young men to men is like, hey, stand on your own 2 feet. Don't cry. Be a strong man. So it's like breaking those barriers down. It's like it's okay to ask for help.
right.
It's okay, you know, to fail, to make mistakes, to admit that you made mistakes, and find what the truth is, the facts are. So and I kind of like what you said. You're a millionaire. Ask other millionaires, how did you do this X and Y? Because you understand that when you get to a certain status, it's not about who you are and what you're doing. It's about, okay, how do I find this information? Who has the information?
Exactly.
How
Not
do
how
I
to.
leverage the information to facilitate what I'm doing?
Yep.
So
No, 100%, man. That's it. That is it. That is it. And that's what we're talking about in the challenge. It's free. We're breaking. I think I looked tonight. I think we got like 63 people signed up. I think I may stop at 100 because I wanted to be something that everybody can benefit from. I don't want to be too large, but we're gonna be going through and giving you those skill sets in order to be successful, man. That this translates to your being showing up in your W-2 job, showing up in your real estate business, any business with these principles that you need, whether going through with how to do time management, how to do how to set up the right mindset, how to have a morning routine. I'm gonna share my morning routine that I go through. How to how do you go through, how do you document your goals, your goal setting, how do you set smart goals that's specific, measurable, attain oh, I forgot the A. Not it's not
It's
is it attainable,
attainable.
realistic, and then timely.
Yep.
Just going through that process. What else we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about multifamily. We're gonna talk about the wealth side of it. Of course, I'm gonna bring that in there, but the skill set. But that's the thing. People gotta realize you gotta level up your skill set in 24. And I'm telling you, like, so yeah, it's like, bro, I'm going to a whole nother level 2024. It's Mamba mentality every day, 2024.
Yes,
Kobe's right
sir.
there behind me. And and that's what it is, So I just want to encourage people, if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go with you. We kicking in the door on 2024. We're building wealth because I'll tell you guys, my goal is to help and impact 1,000 people in real estate and
Right.
being able to change their life through passive income. And this is the process, teaching people about success. And we're gonna be in Houston, Texas. I just signed the agreement today. We're gonna be in Houston, Texas, speaking 4-day event, February 22nd through the 25th. Down there Thursday to Sunday with the Go Getter family with Gene Boykin, him and myself. So we're gonna be talking about multifamily. I'm gonna be talking about multifamily and the how to raise private money, and it's gonna be all the way up, man. I'm excited about that. So you're gonna be
Okay.
seeing a lot more on that. We're gonna be in Houston, be in Birmingham, February, not February, March 19th. Down there, we're gonna be doing an event one day. REIA meetup down in Birmingham, and a couple speaking events at a couple colleges coming up too. So that's the things that we're working on because I want to get this message out here with people because a lot of times we get my age, a lot of people set in their ways. They don't want to move, they don't want to change. That's cool. And salute to you. But like, okay, I got to get to the younger generation. I got to impact them. I got to grab them in college and let them know, hey, this is what you need to be doing. When you step out of college, this is the mindset that you need. These are the habits that you need to build. This is the investment mindset that you need to have coming out of college. And so that's one of my goals next year is to reach more college students, getting out here on that circuit, sharing, getting out there doing some more speaking, and really get serious about changing lives. And man, when I get to that 20 year of the retirement with the Air Force, I'm running. I'm gonna stop by. I'm gonna stop by. I'm gonna say a couple words and I'm out the door. I'm like, hey, I'm headed to the next spot, the next location, and but that's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be a blessing. I'm gonna get about
Right.
9 hours back each day, and it's gonna be phenomenal. Any parting words for the audience, man? Is right at 9 o'clock.
All I gotta say is, man, just believe in yourself and just press that go button and don't look back. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Take the failure in stride. Don't give up. 'Cause at the end of the day, you only live one life. Live your best version. Do everything that your heart desire, but you got to put in the work. As long as you're willing to put in the work, you're able to achieve anything you want to achieve. But you got to press that go button. You got to start somewhere.
Yep. No, 100%, 100%. And thank you, Faye, because Faye just dropped that up there because that's one of the things that I would always want to offer up. We do the free strategy. Said if you're on the fence about investing in multifamily or you're trying to figure out your strategy on how to build more passive income, definitely tap in and grab a free strategy session with myself or Coach Jessica, one of my executive coaches. That we're gonna get you squared away and kind of help you get that framework together on how you can be successful in real estate investing. I tell people like, hey, if you believe that you can do it, you're right. And if you don't believe that you can do it, you're right. So I encourage you to focus on what it is that you want to do in life. Focusing in on your strengths and partner and team for your weaknesses, and go out there and make it happen every day. Every day, live on purpose because guess what? None of us know if tomorrow's gonna be our last day, and
Can I
shame on us if we
can I
don't.
say one more thing, Johnny?
For sure.
Hey, Come try out the REI Genius community. Try it out. That's all I want to tell you. Try it out. We here. We're a family. We're here building wealth for everybody. This is a team sport. We're made of military veterans for the predominantly or some affiliation with the
Yeah,
military. The values align, and we're all authentic and true. And we all have different goals, but the one thing that drives us is our why. We're doing it to create value for others and to create value for our generations to come. So just come try it out. If it's not for you, then okay, you can move on. But hey, we're here for you. If you need us, it's all about family.
that's it. That's it. Let's go. Can I call you after this? Talk about that deal I sent you earlier. That text. I talked to the broker.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Then next week, and we're gonna. So Reggie should be closing that 20 unit in Montgomery too. So I think we're gonna close Friday on that. Finally,
What?
on that. So
Wow.
yeah, I think we may share that one next week and go through. But most definitely, y'all have a blessed night. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And I think I'm gonna have the family in town, but I'll probably jump on here and put a live together next Wednesday. Y'all be blessed. All right, we are out.
Later.